Today I want to talk about college football's NFL draft winners and losers, and all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kidfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, I want to talk about college football's winners and losers because I think when we talk about the NFL draft and college football's winners and losers in the NFL draft, we don't usually take it from the standpoint of what a college football team is getting or what they were able to hang on to. And I think this year is particularly interesting because of the eligibility freeze in which you can come back for another year if you were a senior. And there are some guys that are going to get 6 and even one dude getting the 7th year of college football, right? Because the pandemic was just that bad. But then I was taking a look at what some of these players chose to do and what others chose to do. And that really factored into my calculation evaluation because when I did the way too early top 25, we're still 2 weeks 2 weeks away from finding out who's going to enter the NFL draft and who won't. And on this Friday, I kind of thought it was interesting to take stock of what that might look like. So let's go through starting with a winner. LSU. I think because LSU knew that Jamar Chase wasn't going to play for the entirety of the 2020 season, and as you saw more guys opt out, you got a truer sense of what they have in the cupboard, and you got to see what LSU might look like toward the end of the season this season. With Max Johnson, TJ Finley unexpectedly getting real snaps and starting real football games in the SEC with Miles Brennan going down, you now have at least 3 dudes that have started football games for LSU at quarterback, though I think it's going to be Max Johnson versus Miles Brennan for that job. Either way, you're probably going to end up with a really great quarterback. And quarterback play is extremely important, more so in college football than in the NFL because your quarterback can make up for so many of your challenges. The other reason I think this is interesting is you're going to get to watch once more LSU players get drafted in the first round. And that's going to be great for you building and recruiting. That's another reason why they won, is they were able to figure out who they are, get some more experience, and rebuild for possibly a run this year in which I think they could get to 10 games winning because they're returning so much and they were so young last year. A loser. Indiana. This one actually was difficult until Stevie Scott made it simple because when Stevie Scott was going to return, you're going to get your backfield back. Michael Penix Jr., assuming that he's healthy, and Stevie Scott in the backfield, and you get like 9 starters on offense and 10 starters on defense, and Tom Allen's crew was going to challenge for the Big Ten East. Once again, though I feel like Ohio State is going to win, knowing that Indiana can go toe-to-toe with Michigan, Michigan State, and Penn State makes that a division that is, well, as strong as the SEC West, if Indiana can hold up to it. And I think that that's a really interesting thought. One other reason I thought that Indiana was a loser in all this is because of their run game was so proficient with Stevie Scott. I thought that perhaps he was going to come back and then give himself an opportunity to be RB2, RB3 in 2021, but he decided he's going to go do the NFL thing, get paid. Good for him. A winner, Georgia. There was a thought that JT Daniels might enter the NFL draft after the way that he finished the season with Georgia, passing for essentially 300 yards in, his last 5 starts, 299, right, in one game, and then 392 against Cincinnati in the Peach Bowl, undefeated Cincinnati, highest ranked group of 5 team Cincinnati, in a game they 100% had to win, and a game he had to make some big throws to George Pickens, among others, to help them seal this victory. Also, you get Zamir White back. I don't know that Zeus was going to go into the NFL draft, but just knowing you get him back means you get your entire backfield back. Not just Zamir White, but James Cook, Kenny McIntosh, Kendall Milton, Dajan Edwards, and then you get to add more tailbacks to this really ridiculous roster. You're going to lose a couple of guys on the back end. It's probably going to force you to be a little bit more conservative in how you want to play defensively, meaning that you're probably going to see higher safeties. You're also probably going to see some cornerbacks that are going to get beat every now and again. Keely Ringo was hurt last year, didn't get to play. I expect him to compete for one of those starting jobs, especially with Tyreek Stevenson choosing to transfer to Miami. but they're still Georgia, and defense is always going to be their calling card. With the offense headed the way that it's going, knowing that you return everybody that you need, George Pickens, Darnell Washington, JT Daniels, you get it. They're going to be good. A loser, BYU, losing not just Zach Wilson, but Brady Christensen and Dax Milne. I think losing your quarterback that was in the running for the Heisman Trophy this year until taking a loss to Coastal Carolina means that you don't have that dude on the Heisman podium next year. He was getting that kind of buzz. He was that sort of exciting player that people wanted to see succeed. And I think he would have been an interesting dude to have in this conversation alongside Spencer Rattler, Bryce Young, Sam Howell, JT Daniels, DJ Uiagalelei as those quarterbacks that we expect Desmond Ridder to be competing for first-round slots in the 2022 draft. So, loser there. Winner, Iowa State. I don't know that there's a first-round pick on the Iowa State roster outside of maybe perhaps Brock Purdy and maybe perhaps Breece Hall. No, Breece Hall first round, maybe perhaps Brock Purdy. But returning dudes like Charlie Kolar and Mike Rose still had another year anyway is tremendous. Getting Greg Eisworth back for a 6th year is also tremendous because that dude came over from JUCO and I expected him to be one and done. He's been there for the duration. They get Will McDonald back, who's an underclassman who had double-digit sacks, like 10.5. If he can learn to stop the run, he's going to be outstanding. Iowa State, definitely a winner. Loser, Texas. Texas because Tarek Black never was utilized in the way that he should have been. I thought if Steve Sarkisian's your head coach, you're going to find ways to get that man the football. He's going to the NFL draft. Caden Stearns, your best safety, your most important safety, NFL draft. Same thing with Joseph Asai, who was the best pass rusher outside of Will McDonald in the Big 12. He's that good. He could be 2nd, 3rd round pick selection for them. Sam Cosmi, arguably the most athletic offensive tackle in this draft, a la Lane Johnson years ago at Oklahoma. These are all guys that you would have loved to have back. These are all guys you could have seen wanting to get that other year to perhaps vault themselves into the first round who chose, no, I'm going to the NFL draft to go get my money. However, you do get to revamp your defense with what is a proven defensive coordinator, playmaker, developer of talent, and Pete Kwiatkowski. See, I had it one day, losing it today. Pete Kwiatkowski, whom everybody seems to call PK. Also, you get Bijan Robinson back sophomore year, but Jake Smith going into a junior year, a magic year for him. Those are all things that I think are going to be really, really fascinating to watch. But loser today. Oklahoma, winner. Ramondre Stevenson leaves, okay. Ronnie Perkins leaves, okay. But Pro Football Focus's favorite returning edge rusher, Nick Bonito, is back. You got another year of Isaiah Thomas. You got another year of, Marquise Hayes, who probably could have gone to the NFL draft, not unlike Adrian Ealy. You return everybody that you expected to, and then some. Like Creed Humphrey going, you understand, you're going to break somebody in at center. Maybe it's Andrew Rain, but Andrew Rain is really talented. You also are able to get Jalen Redmond and Kennedy Brooks back from the opt-out, right? Because Kennedy Brooks just chose not to play in 2020, still averages better than 8 yards a carry. And then, my God, that's just stupid. It's gaudy. Because I was doing those numbers on Bijan Robinson. He averaged 8.2 per carry as a true freshman on 86 rushes. Then I looked at Kennedy Brooks, who had over 100 rushes in his true freshman or redshirt freshman year, and he averaged 8.9 yards per carry. It's ridiculous. Jalen Redmond was also one of those guys that was getting early first round buzz for this season before the pandemic ripped everything apart. Oklahoma, definite winner. You get Spencer Rattler going into a Magic year as well, where he's going to be draft eligible. Florida, there's a loser. Florida lost Kadarius Toney, Kyle Pitts, and Kyle Trask. That's the offense, right? You return your running back. Cool. You add DeMarcus Bowman to that. Also cool. You also lost what I thought was the most underrated corner in all of the SEC in Kyer Elam. You're going to need help. Marco Nelson, also in the NFL draft. You're going to need tremendous amount of help over there at Florida. Winner, Ohio State. Getting Chris Olave back was just unexpected. So unexpected that I went to go look up the Heisman odds for Chris Olave at Fox Bet, and they were unlisted. The nice folks at Fox Bet got back to me about what they were listing as plus 10,000, right? Which is about It's about what Sincere McCormick is getting to win the Heisman. If you don't know who Sincere McCormick is, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Also, the best tailback you've never seen. I guarantee none of y'all, somebody here watches UTSA football. But most of y'all ain't ever seen Sincere McCormick and don't know that Sincere McCormick is one of the best tailbacks walking around today. Shout out my man Shehan J. Araja. Shehan, I know your name. J. Araja. Goodness me and names today. Ohio State also gets back Haskell Garrett, which is tremendous, right? I thought Haskell Garrett was going to go into the NFL draft. I didn't think that Tommy Togiai was, but he did. Okay, cool. That's a positive. You got one back where you didn't expect to get either. And then Tyreek Smith coming back as well. And, Tyreek can be a freak. He can be outstanding out there at edge. You lose Pete Warner, but that's okay. Thayer Mumford's coming back. I know that the big one there is Justin Fields, but anybody who's seen C.J. Stroud play football, Jack Miller play football, or Kyle McCord at Philly is encouraged by what Ryan Day has at quarterback. And, there's a reason to believe that C.J. Stroud is Justin Fields light. And y'all know how much I love Justin Fields. If he's even half as good as Fields was, they're putting themselves back in the conversation to be in the college football playoff because they're going to be so good at running the football. And then defensively, they're going to be more sound because they're going to have to be. You're going to grow up Latham Ransom. You're going to grow up Sevyn Banks, who's returning. You're going to be okay. I think that this is a good thing for them. Now, loser, Alabama. Alabama because Alabama loses Najee Harris, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Mac Jones, Alex Leatherwood, Landon Dickerson, but also winner, Alabama, because you still got horses. Brian Robinson coming back, I think, is the most underrated move of any of these return to play stories that we're hearing. Brian Robinson is a dude. Brian Robinson might not have the production that Najee Harris has, but he is a much tougher runner. He doesn't have the balance and the shiftiness of Najee to go with the strength, but you're going to love watching Brian Robinson play if you haven't before. Dude needs more touches. Remember Bo Scarborough? Yeah, and it plus 9,000, right? Over 9,000 for the power level on a Brian Robinson in comparison to Bo Scarborough. I said what I said. I said what I said, okay? Also, winner, because Ja'Cory Brooks coming in. Ajay Hall coming in. Alabama's going to put out another offense that melts faces. Golly. Alabama is going to lose potentially 4 first-round picks on offense and put out an offense that melts faces. My God. All right, see, Alabama, winner and loser, because Alabama is just a death machine. Deuces.